Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Coffee with the Critters. I'm here at the Animal Behavior Center. And for those of you that don't know, come on. For those that may not be aware of what we do, my name's Laura Joseph, owner of the Animal Behavior Center. We're an international educational center where we teach people all over the world how to empower animals and the people that care for them. And we do that through our live streaming services, which you can find on our website, which is theanimalbehaviorcenter.com. You can also reach me personally at my email address, which is Laura, Lara, at theanimalbehaviorcenter.com. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode where we live stream every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern on a wide variety of topics in regards to the science of understanding behavior, training, and animal enrichment. So I am live streaming today from out in the center, and I am actually in the training room, and I am in here. You're going to hear a lot of different noises in here. But hopefully none will be very loud. I am sitting here with Andy, the Major Mitchell's cockatoo. You coming? Yeah, right on cue. I'm also out here with, you can hear Milo, the pig. You're going to see him here shortly. I am also out here with Jelly Bean, the toucanette, the curl-crusted arsari, and with Kooky, the kookaburra. I tell you all of that because you may hear some unfamiliar noises. Hello, Milo. Milo is right at my feet. So today I chose to talk about understanding pig behavior and Pig Behavior 101. Pigs are very often misunderstood. People get pigs thinking they want a companion very similar to the behavior of a dog. And what you're going to get is a companion very unsimilar to the behavior of a dog. I once had somebody tell me I was looking for somebody to house sit a companion pig. And I talked to a vet's office, and the vet tech once told me, I sit for dogs, so a pig should be no different. And I said, you might want to do your research because a pig is going to be extremely different. So before we get started today, I usually go through a recap of the past week. But before then, if you follow our Facebook page, the Animal Behavior Center, you can be notified of all of our live streams, our public live streams, our workshops, different presentations I give internationally on our Facebook page on the events section. Also, I will be sending out a newsletter here within the next week, an email newsletter. And if you want to join our email newsletter, you can do so right here on our Facebook page or by going to our website, which is theanimalbehaviorcenter.com. What we do here is we live stream across the world, species specific or on the laws of behavior, using applied behavior analysis, which is applicable to all. All behavior serves a purpose. All behavior has function. There is no behavior that happens for no reason. When we find what the reason is, and we can, thank you. We hopefully didn't poop on me because I gotta go to the zoo after this. When we can answer the question, why is this happening? We have identified the reinforcer behind the behavior. The reinforcer is always determined by the animal, never by us. It's just up to us when we can deliver positive reinforcers, things the animal does like, for behaviors we want to see maintain or increase. The services we offer are level 1 membership, which is for companion animals. Level 2 is more for professional trainers or people that want to, good, he missed. People who want to get in the field of animal behavior and training. Hey, Joanna, I see some people with pigs coming on. But what we're going to talk about today, think about how whatever I say relates to any animal. Not just pigs, okay? Because we're going to talk about a lot today that many people will see, okay, yeah, I have this issue in my home with my dog, my cat, my rabbit, my parrot, my pig, and what have you. So we have our level 2 membership for professional animal trainers or people thinking or wanting to get more involved in applied animal behavior. We also have memberships to species-specific projects such as the Parrot Project, the Pig Project, we have the Deaf Dog Project, and the Snow Project. So let me say, hey, Karen, I'll see you in about an hour. I see Joanna, Maria, Debbie, Mark, Susie, Eva, good morning, Charlene, Jen, hey, Jen, have you trained any pigs? There's the turkey vulture right there. Georgia, Sandy, didn't I just see you last night? Ray, Terry, Nancy, hey, down there in Key West. Brianna, down there in Georgia. Tim, up there in Michigan. Daniela, good morning, everybody. Okay. And Judith, hey, Judith, over there in Australia, right, Judith? Am I correct? So before we get started, I'm going to show some live training demonstrations. I may be training numerous animals at once because if that animal can see, hear, feel, or smell you, you are training that animal whether you realize it or not. The key question is, what are you training? Okay, I train a lot for zoos. I love training at zoos, and I'm getting ready to head to a zoo right after this live stream where we're going to be training lemurs, wolves, hyacinth macaws, and whatever. That is going to be the rest of my day today, and I am pretty excited about it. We have the spider monkey lemur exhibit up and ready to rock and roll, ready to go. Hey, Donna. Jen says no pigs, but a fox. Okay. Pigs are very interesting to work with. I found an interest in pigs because they're quick learners. They're fast learners. And oftentimes I see them training the people very quickly. They're very manipulative. And one of the signs of, or one of the definitions of intelligence is manipulation. Being able to rearrange antecedents, things that happen before behavior and things that happen after behavior, consequences for the animal to get what it wants with each interaction. And then that is the pig. Where are you, Milo? Okay. So recap on this past week. I would say goodbye to Dill and Pickles at the Animal Behavior Center, but you're not going to be saying goodbye. They will be seeing the Animal Behavior Center again in the very near future, but Dill and Pickles are the ring-tailed lemurs here from Indian Creek Zoo. They have been here for several months for training, and right after this live stream, they are going into a crate and being taken back to Indian Creek Zoo. You will see them on Indian Creek Zoo's Facebook page. You will continue, Milo, you turd. You will continue to see them here on the Animal Behavior Center's Facebook page for training as well. Okay, and then after that, this is what's happening in the Parrot Project right now. This is the hyacinth macaws out at Indian Creek Zoo. Their harnesses are made and being shipped. We should probably have them here at the Animal Behavior Center by tomorrow. And in the Parrot Project, which is an annual subscription to live streaming services that I have, we are starting on harness training immediately. We are also currently working on showing live streams of how to train parrots to allow restraint with a towel. Let's see. Okay, last before we get started is, this is something we're getting ready to do. Think about this. This is I'm forming the animal enrichment team out at Indian Creek Zoo. And this is Amanda Stroud. She's one of the keepers, and she's on the enrichment team at Indian Creek Zoo. And we came up with, I found a slingshot here at the center. So we took frozen chicken. Today we're going to have frozen meatballs, and we're slingshotting them into the wolf exhibit. We're going to have that at the zoo today at 12:30. Okay. So let me see if anybody's saying, Charlene, are you still fearful of the virus that is out there? Aren't you compromised? Yeah, I'm compromised. I'm not fearful. I'm careful is what I am. Let's see, Ashley. Okay. Deb says, just got a 10.5-week-old puppy. Congratulations. Can you touch on crate training? When will pup be able to? Okay. Today, Deb, we're talking about pigs. You might want to ask more in detail questions when we have our monthly Q&A here, but also there's Kookie. We have our pig is crate trained, and we crate train our pig in similar fashions as we crate train our dogs. Okay, so let's get started. Understanding pig behavior. I've got my treat pouch ready, and Milo's ready right beside me. I'm going to touch on some different topics on pig behavior, training pigs, pig enrichment, understanding pig behavior, and pitfalls people fall into. Okay, so many people get pigs when they're very young. They're different, they're unique, they're intelligent, they're exquisite. But you will quickly learn, even at an extremely young age, that a pig is a pig. A pig is a pig. It acts like a pig. A lot of times we take pigs who act differently outside. We bring them inside. We expect them to act like dogs. We want them to love us, and they can. We've got Milo here. We've trained several pigs here, and have gone on site and trained several pigs. And you may want to keep close attention because I'm going to be going on site of maybe a couple of different, very unique individual situations. So pigs are pigs. They're very food motivated. I find them, I don't want to say easy to train, but quick to train because they are food motivated, and they never stop being food motivated. But one thing I want to tell you is when people rely on food and food alone, especially with pigs, you will find yourself in sometimes very scary situations. So Tim, don't forget, if Deb is looking for information on crate training dogs, we have that service too in our level 1 subscription. You can find out where we do crate training with dogs, companion animals in our level 1. So anyways, back to pigs. If you use food and food alone, a lot of times with pigs, I will see people and pigs starting to push and be pushier, meaning in whatever way they want for food. And if you do not give it to them because they have a history of you giving it to them, it can often lead to a bite, a lunge, a swipe of the head. I've seen people go running scared with their pigs. So a lot of times, one of the first things I'll start doing with a pig is teaching it to learn. So let's give some training examples. My pig mug. Let's give some training examples. And I do this with puppies, pigs, parrots, whatever. Teach them to learn. So you can teach them a target. Let's train a target real quick, even though Milo already knows it. but we can teach different targets, okay? There's such things as, we do this with our parrots as well, nose target, foot target, butt target, stomach target, whatever. You have to teach targets for a voluntary hoof trim. So target training is when you teach an animal to touch a particular body part to an object on cue. You can do, if you're working with a biting, lunging pig, I suggest starting with the training stick. Here's the training sticks we use. We have these acrylic training sticks, comes in different colors. We use the purple for pigs, red for other mammals, and the yellow for the parrots. So I'm going to ask Milo to touch his nose to this target stick on cue. We haven't done this with Milo in a long time, but let's take a look at retention. Ready? Milo, touch. Good. Okay. So Milo already knows this, so I'm going to show you some targets that he doesn't know. So when you get an animal to touch their nose to an object on cue, you can get them to do a lot of different things. Touch. Good. So you can teach this to turn, teach this to trying to turn in a circle. Touch. Good. What target training is good for? Numerous things, endless things, is get them to go to an area. So if I wanted Milo over here and away from the door where somebody's getting ready to walk into, I could get Milo, touch. Good. So you don't necessarily need to use, when I first start training an animal and I do not understand the species, or more importantly, I do not know the individual, I will train with the target stick. Because if I make an accident and that animal bites the target stick, at least they didn't bite my hand. But note to self, I don't want to see that bite again. I will learn through their behavior what their body language was telling me before that bite happened, so I know not to do it again. Okay, so we don't necessarily have to use this. This is a prop, meaning a temporary tool to get behavior. You can do things such as, like with dogs, larger dogs, I will use a hand target because my hand is always on me. I don't have to go looking for my target stick. So we can do touch. Good. Touch. Good. Okay, so that's always on me. What's nice about a target stick too is when you're teaching an animal, dog, pig, whatever, to walk loosely on a leash. You see how in order for me to ask him to touch, good, I have to bend over. Now if I have a leash on me, on him, that can be hard for me to do. So this is where the target stick comes in handy, because I can say, touch, good. And I can either put the Cheerio in his mouth or I can drop it on the floor. The complication with dropping it on the floor is, watch this. I prefer to put it in their mouth because when you start dropping it on the floor, touch, Milo, touch, watch his behavior. Good. Touch, good. That right there is what I'm looking for, okay? And you're gonna start, what you're gonna start seeing is, nice job, Milo. What you're gonna start seeing, when I'm doing a training session, when I end training sessions with pigs, I will drop the food on the floor. But when I am in the middle of a training session, do you see that slight, what starts happening is, instead of one treat in the mouth all the time, you'll see the pig, instead of paying attention to you, it goes and eats the treat, and then it comes over here and starts looking around to see if it's missed anything. And just really puts a lull in the training session. Okay, so something else, any questions so far? Do you guys see how this relates to all animals? We target train the lemurs. We haven't target trained him right now, yet. I'd train him right now for you guys, but I would have to get a different color target stick because saliva from animals, you coming? Saliva from animals can make birds very sick. So I asked a behavior. Don't forget to reinforce it. Okay. So Andy's here from Dr. Jason Crean. This is Dr. Jason Crean's bird. And Andy is afraid of hands. Okay, so we're working on that, but we recall train them to our shoulder. Okay, any questions so far? Because what I want to talk about are some other, so Milo when he comes up next to me, I'm gonna pet him. Very good. And not just give him food, because if I give him food constantly, I'm likely to start seeing behavior issues develop. What Daniela says, what are non-food reinforcers? Non-food reinforcers, one I just delivered to Milo, is I pet him on his back when he comes next to me. Sunlight, heat, not just petting, but be specific. Belly rubs, a lot of pigs love belly rubs. We'll also use with Milo, like tickling the hair on his back. He likes that. He likes his butt scratched. He enjoys being around people. And that is something that we're going to touch on here as well. Socialization, okay? Makes sense. A lot of times people get pigs and they don't socialize them. They keep them in their house. And if they don't have a lot of visitors to their house, pigs, a lot of times you'll start having the problem of biting. Okay, we got a bird coming down closer to our hands. So I told you I'd probably be training numerous animals at once, because I say, if that animal can see, hear, smell, or feel you, you are training it whether you realize it or not. Jack says, our pigs live in our goat yard. Belly rubs are probably the most desired reinforcer, but only when not super close to our goats, if they don't seem to want to be that vulnerable around them. And a lot of times, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, pigs are prey animal. They have eyes on the sides of their head. So don't forget, many people forget that they are prey animal. That is something, if I'm working with a predator or prey, I am paying very close attention to it. So know what fear looks like, know what fear sounds like, understand your animal and your pig's different vocalizations, and how you begin to understand that is through paying attention to different vocalizations and what is happening at the same time in the environment around them. Then you will begin to understand what those vocalizations mean. Why is that important? Because when you're not looking at your pig, but you can hear your pig in another room, you know there's a problem. And if there's a problem, that's Cookie jumping to the bottom of his cage. No, it's not. It's Jelly Bean. If I am concerned about any behavior that I can see, hear, or feel, I pay attention to it. I will, like if I felt Andy's feet, the tension in his feet change, you bet I'm going to turn and look at him and see what he is doing and watching what's happening around him to identify whether there's an issue. Okay, so let's talk about stationing, okay? Stationing is a target. I want all 4 feet touching a particular object, okay? Stationing is target with duration, meaning, what's happening back there, JB? Meaning I want all 4 feet targeting on that object and then staying for periods of time. We teach targeting or stationing to all the animals we work with the primates at the zoo, with the pigs here. Look at this. You can teach an animal to go to a station and teach it right now. As soon as we're done, teach it. Because what a station does is tell the pig where you want it to go and where you want it to stay until you ask it to do something else. So we use stations here because it comes in handy. You can then generalize this behavior in different areas. Meaning I take it to the vet's office. Working with pigs, I like to work with them up high on a table so I don't have to bend over, because me bending over trimming hooves for long periods of times can be a positive punisher for me, meaning it's an aversive. It's something I don't like. So that behavior of me training that pig, a hoof trim, is going to start to decrease when it should be increasing. So I make it comfortable for myself. So I put a station on a table at a vet visit, and that tells the pig where to go while the veterinarian is examining them. You can also then put the station in a crate. If the pig already knows to put all 4 feet on a station, you put the station in a crate. It tells the pig where you want it to go. If you're working with a pig that's not used to people coming in the house that it doesn't know, before the people come in the house, put the station down, ask your pig to go to the station, let the people in the door. Hey, Jen, I have an indoor-outdoor mini pig about 3 years old that challenges my husband daily. This is not uncommon. How do I handle? My husband is afraid he's going to get bit. He started about a year ago. My piggy was also neutered at a young age. Not sure if that matters. Neutering often does show a change in behavior, and usually for the best, but talk to your veterinarian about that. We had Milo neutered at a very young age. So, okay, Jen, teach a target, teach a station. Let me show some station work. Okay, and I also want to show you something he doesn't know so I can show you how we shape this. Got to get Andy off of me first. And a station is a must. And Jen, this will help you with your husband. You and your husband can do the training together. So let's get this ready. Andy, let's step up here. Nice job. Nice little hop. Okay. I asked the behavior. He did it. Reinforce the behavior. You always reinforce the behavior, not the animal. Okay. So Milo knows this, and this is a visual cue. As soon as this station goes down, these station mats are very light, roll up easy. You can take them anywhere. We haven't done this with him in probably about a year. Good. So he knows I want all 4 feet on that station. Good. So I'm going to show you something he does not know. You see the target stick. If I want him off the station, I can use the target stick. Touch. Good. But if you leave that station on the ground, good. He's going to go back to it because it has a history of reinforcement. Good. Okay. On your station. Good. This is where we teach a hook trim is on a station as well. Good. Which he needs. And we'll get that done this week. Good. So we never force Milo to do anything. We never force. Very rarely will we use force. If we use force, Milo, touch. Milo, touch. If we use force, it's because an accident is getting ready to happen, and the outcome of using it is worse than not using it. But then we will say, note to self, this needs training. If we continue to use force with our animals, we are going to start seeing very undesired behaviors. Okay? I'm going to take a look, see if you guys are asking any questions. Nice job, Milo. So I will often throw numerous treats on the floor. That's his cue that the training session is over, and it doesn't leave him there hanging, wondering, are you going to ask me to do anything else? Which can also create frustration and can reinforce a lunge with the pig. So this is a clear sign of communication to him. Training session is over. Hello. Jack says, thank you for focusing on targeting and stationing. We train all our animals and haven't yet met an animal that couldn't learn these behaviors with minimal work. Yeah. And I like to... Studies show if you're actually using positive reinforcement training, it is the animal's preferred form of enrichment. I know that for a fact because I see it every day. There is not one day in my life that I am not training something. I know my good friend Sharon Collins out there in Long Island, her and some other people from the Long Island Parrot Society. Come on. You coming up here? Had asked me, is there ever a situation where you're not training? And I'm like, yeah, well, usually when I'm sleeping, because I've never found myself in a situation where something isn't learning from me. So training is learning. Training is communication, and that is why I train. Jen asked me, what types of treats are you using for him? We'll use numerous types of treats, but we tend to find that Cheerios are very easy. They're not so messy. We will use almonds, popcorn, but primarily Cheerios. Because, hey, Sharon, there's Sharon. So I know people are watching but don't comment, and that's okay. Sharon Rios says, good morning. Love this and the Parrot Project. Can you refer me to a rescue? Sure, Sharon, just shoot me a message. I will be at the zoo immediately after this and won't be back until later today. So, okay, we're getting a lot of people asking different kind of questions about different types of species. Watch what I'm training now and how this can correlate to all species. But today we're going to focus on pigs. And in case a parrot lands on my shoulder, I'll train that too. Okay, but something else I want to talk about is, okay, let's finish stationing. So I will train all kinds of husbandry, grooming behaviors, vet prep behaviors to pigs and all other animals. Pigs need their hooves trimmed. Their hooves are very thick. So you can Dremel them. You can cut them. I'm using the tool in here that we use to cut them. So I use the station to get Milo to do that. Many times people use force with their animals. Coming up. Many times people use force with their animals at the vet. Okay, where this I'm trying to get my mane under control, where this doesn't need to be, because what we do a lot of prep for vet visits. We want animals to love going to the vet. So we train for it, and we don't train when it's time to go to the vet. We train before it's time to go to the vet. So we can use a station to get a pig to stay in one spot while a vet is going around doing a full body exam. We train Milo as well to allow us to take his temperature. And let me tell you, that thermometer is not going in his mouth. So yes, that is a target. And it starts with a rear end target. Okay. Good morning, Shelly. Hey, Heather. And okay, so Milo is here at my feet. So I'm going to reinforce this behavior of staying on my feet. And if I want to reinforce the behavior, so I'm feeding the parrot with my left hand and the pig with my right, to be cautious of not cross-contaminating and I won't get the pig sick, I'll get the parrot sick, okay? So we train animals to want to go to the vet, and that starts at home with you target training and stationing. A lot of times for hoof trims with pigs, it's not uncommon for them to be put under for a hoof trim, which can be pretty dangerous. That can be pretty dangerous to a pig, a parrot, and numerous other different animals. So we train them for this. And a station helps. Let's see, how are we doing on time? Because I want to teach, before we move on to the next topic I want to talk about with pigs. Hi, what? Let me show you something Milo does not know, okay? So we can train, good morning, Judith. We can train, let's see. I have an object here, which is commonly used in dog training, but we use it here. We use this. You know that? You've been eating them. This is a fit paw. We use these. These are more commonly used as foot targets for dogs. Milo doesn't know this. We use this as a target for our rats that we were training, Stella and Piper, to put the front 2 feet, touch an object, touch a body part with an object. We trained the rats to put their front 2 feet on this object. Why? Because then we started moving this foot target around, and it told the rats where we wanted it to go. If they saw it sitting over here, boom. So then we would, when we wanted the rats to go back in their cage, we would toss this in their cage, and this was a visual cue of where to go to earn reinforcers. And we used to train them with numerous things, yogurt treats. I think we trained them banana baby food. That was probably like 3 years ago. I can't remember, but it would help the rats get back in the cage. Milo does not know this, so let's train this. Miss Eva says, these principles hold across species. Laura has said, training is teaching, teaching is communication, communication builds relationships, and relationships is the purpose of training. Yeah, I train using positive reinforcement because it empowers the animal. It gives animals choice. It makes them thrive in their environment. I'm watching Andy in the monitor. He is clearly reacting to what? The parrot screaming in the other room. And Miss Joanna Camburn, who I have met, has been here for a workshop. Olive has recently started licking objects over and over. I know it's because of food left over was found once. So she licks to see if she can find that again. What is a good way to redirect that? She's constantly licking what? The air? Like constantly licking her chops? What do you want her to do instead, Joanna? That's what I would ask you. What do you want her to do instead? Okay, I don't want you touching this. So let's train. What do we want to do? Nose target with Milo or foot target with Milo. I can get him to touch his nose to this and start pushing it, or I could get him to see if we can get his foot on it. How about we do a nose target to push? Bed, floor, pillows. Is he nesting, Joanna? Let's try this. Let's see if we can get Milo to touch this. So Milo is used to being trained because I've trained him since he was like 2 or 3 months old. Hey, Melissa, down there in the Keys. So I could show you 2 different ways. I'm trying to think about how to do this. I want to show you where it's not so easy for him to learn, okay? Let me show you this. So he's going to be focusing on me. He's itching his butt on a container right now. If I were to throw this down, he's likely to go over and touch it because he knows through training that I'm constantly asking him to look and do something, and he's constantly wanting to do something because he knows it's mentally and physically stimulating, and he gets information. So I'm going to try to set this down and do it where he can't see me do it. So let's do this. Milo, touch. Good. Let me throw some Cheerios over here to get him to turn his back on this. Because if he sees me put that down there, figure out where I want it. If he sees me put that down there, he's likely going to automatically go to it. How much time do I have left? Okay. I got a lot I want to talk about in a very short period of time. So I'm going to put my hair up real quick so I can see what I'm doing. So he's still looking around for treats. So I'm going to go over to the target and ask him to touch. Milo. Good. Good. Okay, he didn't touch it, but he's getting closer. Good. Oops. Good. Good. So he's moving it. Good. So I want him pushing it forward, not backwards. Good. So that one time he pushed it backwards, and you know what I did? Nothing. Good. Now wanting him pushing it forward, not biting it. Good. So I need to catch him before he bites it. Good. Cockatoo on my back. Good. Okay, so I'm going to throw some Cheerios over here because I'm going to show you another easy way we could reinforce this, or we could train this. Okay. This is where my hair often looks like while I'm training because I don't really care what it looks like. I'm just focused on when I'm training. Okay. If your animal knows a nose target, watch this. This is another way we can train this. Okay. Yeah. Joanna says, I'll send you a video so we can chat about what she's doing. Joanna, feel free to post it in the Pig Project or Level 1. Okay. And we can address this. All right. So what I could do is put it behind my back to help create contingency, meaning the animal knows that every time this comes out, good. Good. See how I'm not leaving it linger out here? Good. 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 Okay, so he's starting to bite it, and I don't want him biting it. Good. So I'm going to hold it high where he can't bite it. Good. Good. Can you guys see this? Good. 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 And do you see how when I say the word G-O-O-D, he stops doing the behavior and looks at me? It's very clear. He understands what that word means. All right. I hope I can get through this. So we have, does all of this make sense? Okay, something else. Let me take a look at what everybody's saying. Okay, first time here. Hello, Karen. If this is your first time here on Coffee with the Critters, this is a live stream that we have every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. unless otherwise specified. If it's at a different time due to something I'm training at the zoo or training in a different location, or interviewing somebody, which we have an interview coming up in mid-July, which will be at a different time due to the person being on the West Coast. We will post that in our events section. But Karen, you're here on Coffee with the Critters, where we've live streamed every Sunday morning for over 5 years on animal behavior training enrichment using positive reinforcement and applied behavior analysis. Okay, so something else I want to talk about. Walking your pig on a leash and a harness. Milo is getting ready to go out for the first time in several years. Milo is, I don't know, 7 years old, 6 years old. When he was very young, I taught him on a harness. I have not put that harness on in years. He needs to start going out into public again. And this is something that I'm going to have to shape, meaning reinforcing small approximations towards the target behavior, reinforcing small approximations towards the target behavior, such as hold the target up here. Target behavior, target means, in this instant, the desired behavior. Okay, so I'm shaping, touch it here, touch it here, touch it here, on the ground, touch it. Reinforcing small approximations towards the desired behavior. I could go into rear end targeting, whatever. I can talk about target training all day because it's happening all the time. When you are walking your pig on a leash, so many times people start with a leash. When I'm training an animal to walk on a leash, I usually do not start with a leash. Same thing as the parrots. When I'm training, harness training, I often start without training the harness, using the harness. I'll get the animal, I can get the harness out and put it on them. I haven't put it on them in years, but I will start touching in the areas that the harness needs to go. Because all of a sudden, especially with prey animal, you're going over their head. A harness is going around their head unless you get the ones that clasp under their neck and under their belly. We have a special harness here made for him through Brilliant Canine, which works like a horse, where you tell them which direction you want them to go. Good morning, Lisa. So when I first started harness training Milo, I used a station. I used a target to get him where I needed him to go. I started touching his body where I needed him to go, or what to do. And then a lot of times, especially with prey animal, if you hold something over their head or slip something over their head, you will find that they're not comfortable with it if you are not shaping that behavior. Reinforcing real small approximations towards the desired behavior. And a lot of times people will just put the harness on and the leash on and force the animal out in public, where these are animals that are low to the ground. People are 4, 5, 6 feet tall, 3, 4, 5, 6 feet tall. And if they're not comfortable with it, you're actually going to positively punish the very behavior you're trying to train. Okay. And then because the leash is associated with all this uncomfortableness and forcing and taking too big of steps in your shaping process, then the pig will start seeing the leash as the cue to run the other way, because they've learned once that this is a very uncomfortable situation. When I first started training Milo to walk on his harness, it started inside with heel. I don't want the tension on the harness. I don't like animals pulling on the harness that is on the leash. That is a positive punisher for me. Makes sense? Yeah. So when the actual harness goes on and the leash goes on, I will train tension. Because if you take your pig out for the first time and they start walking and all of a sudden they feel that tension on the other end of the leash, if they do not understand it because you haven't communicated that through training, a lot of times that is going to become the aversive. Okay? So teach that tension, because the last thing you want is a pig out of control in public on a leash. It can be a very dangerous, scary situation. Yeah. So something else I want to say, pigs often don't like, if they don't know somebody, you introduce them. Introduce the pig to new people. And a lot of times, and this happened here at my center the other day, and I was not happy about it. Somebody unexpected came in. I was expecting somebody else. Somebody unexpected came in. Milo was out, and they just reached down over their head and started petting him on the back of the head. And I was like, oh, please stop that. Milo does not know you. You're reaching over his head. Pigs can only lift their head so high, and he cannot see you. He does not know you. He is not comfortable with this. If this is to continue, he's likely, he could lunge at you. He could try to bite you. He could try to head swipe. And you get to go home at the end of the day, where I have to sit here now with a behavior issue and try to counter condition, retrain. Now I have an issue. Okay. So this is why if somebody comes in my house, I will take complete control over that somebody, because they're going to have an effect on future behavior. All right. This is why when I say, please do not feed my dogs at the kitchen table. Do not feed my dogs, period, unless I ask you to. Control is not a bad word. We all have control over our families, our households, our situations, for our safety and for our future well-being. So I will take control over people in my house. If they don't listen to me, I will kindly ask them to leave, because please respect my animals. And when you don't respect any animal, that is when I can become very angry. Okay, so the importance in socialization. And Jen, if you're still on here, this is what we do to introduce new people to Milo, is we have them train them. This is Erica Blagrave. She's one of the volunteers, and Coco, right above her, right there. The longer a pig, in general, the longer a pig stays in a particular area, such as lives in your house, lives in your kitchen, lives in a bedroom, what have you, if you do not keep them used to change, the more likely it's going to come to a situation where nobody, except for yourself, if you're lucky, is going to be able to get into that area without your pig lunging, screaming, biting, head swiping. Okay? What I commonly see in the companion pig, parrot, dog, is people not keeping their animals. In any animal situation, keep your animals used to change, and you shape that. You use small approximations towards the desired behavior. When you do not, based on her behavior and the change in light in here, I guarantee you the turkey vulture just flew. His behavior. Milo's sitting here patiently waiting. You do not keep them used to change. You're likely to see behavior issues, and those behavior issues can quickly be labeled as phobic, overgeneralized fear to items that have nothing to do or have been paired with the situation, such as crate training. Karen says proactive management and environmental arrangements. Yes, Karen, you must have some history in training using applied behavior analysis and positive reinforcement. So this is the other room, that room right over there, and you will see this little green duct tape on the concrete. That is Milo's station in the other room, and he doesn't necessarily have to have something on the floor, but he can. And we use that a lot of times to introduce people to our pig. Enrichment is extremely important. Enrichment, an arousal of the senses. We can have enrichment in many different forms. Enrichment, and training is enrichment, can help keep your animal used to change. Yeah, thanks, Tim. Tim says one of the biggest things I have taught is keep your animals used to change. It will save you for a future of behavior issues. We got to go get some lemurs in a crate. So before I leave, I just wanted to let you know, if you go to our website, theanimalbehaviorcenter.com, you will see here up in the header, these are some things we have that could help you if you need more help. We have individual online consultations. I can help you with that. We also have webinars. We have webinars on all different aspects of pig behavior. Webinars are recordings you can purchase. We have one on addressing aggression with your pig. We also have another one, how to prepare your pig for success. I had a zookeeper in Florida just message me this past week saying her friend got a pig, and they want to make sure they're doing the right thing. Easy killer. They want to make sure they're doing the right thing, and asked her, have you ever heard of the Animal Behavior Center? And she told them, yes, their information is gold. So I appreciate that, Emily. We also have a webinar on pig enrichment. Enrichment is a part of every one of our behavior modification programs. We do not have a behavior modification program that does not involve some type of enrichment. Another one you and everybody watching may be very interested in seeing is our webinar on understanding behavior. This is all the work I do is about B.F. Skinner's laws of behavior. It is a great form of interacting with your animal, no matter what the species. Cookie's getting ready to sound off. We also have the Pig Project, which is a subscription to our annual membership online, and I have a special promotion happening right now on the Pig Project. It will last a short time only. If you subscribe to the Pig Project, I will get you into level 1 with special perks, okay? Where we have monthly live stream Q&As and interviews and how-to training videos and a lot of things. So our level, if you've liked what you've seen today, take a look at our subscription, our memberships, and our projects where we live stream like this, except for in extreme detail and per topic, how to do things. Level 1 is for companion animals. Level 2 for people more interested in understanding more about applied animal behavior. We have our projects, which are species specific, such as the Pig Project, the Parrot Project. If you are interested in an online consultation, you can email me for more information about that, and we will get you on the schedule, and that is Laura@theanimalbehaviorcenter.com. For every 5 people that we get into our projects or memberships per your referral, we have a referral program. where we will give you a 1-hour consultation at no charge. Pay attention to the Sam I Can Foundation's Facebook page. There's something happening the last weekend of this month. This is our nonprofit where we help people and animals in need. And we do that through live streaming and creating stories and education through the Sam I Can Foundation. We also have the end of the show. Period. Okay, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. On our way to the zoo. All right. Take care, everybody, and thanks for joining. If you have anybody that you know could benefit from these live streams, pig or non-pig related, please feel free to share this with them.